Hey guys, it's Amy. Okay, so I'm going to fill you in a little bit about Literacy for a Lifetime grants because some of you guys were asking questions about that. Literacy for a Lifetime is a great way to get books for great causes. Basically, what happens is Usborne will match your donations by 50%. Now, you have to have at least $250 in money donations um, for your cause, which we'll talk about in just a second. So if you have $250 for your cause, Usborne will give you another $125 in books to go along with it, giving you $375 worth of books when you just raised $250. So that is pretty exciting. To do in Literacy for a Lifetime, you could work with schools and libraries if you are an educational consultant. So if you aren't yet and you're waiting for the freeze to end, you're almost there. The freeze will end soon. Okay, so maybe you're working with the PTA, or maybe that school or library has some extra money in their budget that maybe it's not their normal budget, but they've got some extra. You can use that for the Literacy for a Lifetime grant. Here's an example of something that I might talk to some schools in my area about because I'm an educational consultant, is that a lot of the schools in our area already do Scholastic fundraisers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to some of my media specialist friends, and I'm going to offer them a Literacy for a Lifetime grant for those kids that can't afford to buy their own books. So I'm going to say, maybe we can raise some money and Usborne will match it 50%. And we can raise some money to get books from Usborne for those kids that aren't able to get Scholastic books. So that way they also feel like they're getting some new books too. So that is something that I'm going to probably be working on. You can work with public libraries too. You can work with different businesses in the area. If you are a part of a library and it's kind of a rundown library in your area and they need some new books, work with the community, different businesses in the area or people that would be interested in helping to supply some new books for the library. So that's schools and libraries if you're an educational consultant. You can also do book drives for Literacy for a Lifetime. Maybe you're working with a preschool in the area and you want to help them get some new books. As long as the preschool is not attached to an elementary K through 12 school or something like that, then you're free to do it and you don't have to be an educational consultant. So keep that in mind. You could also work with a hospital to get them some books, or maybe a doctor's office, maybe a children's shelter. I know one of you guys is working on one of those right now. Those are all really great ideas. Think about somebody that would benefit from getting lots of great books. So I'm going to give you an idea of a couple of ones that I'm working on right now or I have worked on in the past. The first one that I did was back in February, and it was for a student that went to a small Montessori school here in Claremont, where I live. He passed away suddenly on pretty much on Christmas. It was a big shocker in our area, so nobody was expecting it. I knew the principal at the school, and so I talked to her and I said, can we get some books for your school in Cameron's honor? And so she thought that was a great idea. So the way I started raising money, I went to our local community page and I shared about his story. I got the okay from his family, and I shared about his story and what happened and how we were raising money to get new books for his school. And so many people loved it. They were like, oh, this is a great idea. Strangers were donating money. They were donating money. They gave me money through my Square Cash app, PayPal. The main way I collected the money for this was I worked with a local ice cream shop, and they actually wanted to participate with me, and they wanted to have a spirit night to raise money for those books. So I went up there one night. We had organized it. I went up there from like 6 to 8 one night and showed some of the books that I was going to be ordering for them. And there was just a cash box there, and when people came in, a lot of them were from his school. They brought in money and dropped it off in the box. A pediatrician came up and donated $250. Her office was right next to where his school was, so it impacted her quite a bit. So it was really great. We raised a lot of money. Now here's the thing is when you do a Literacy for a Lifetime grant, aim high. Don't do something like, oh, let's try to raise $250. Aim high. I said for Cameron's event that I was going to try to aim for $1,000 in books. Thought that was pretty crazy, and we beat it. I think we got closer to $1,200 in books. And so his school got almost $1,800 in books. I was able to deliver them like 4 huge boxes, and it was amazing. And what I did on each one, on the inside cover, I put a little sticker, and it had a picture of him in it, and it said this book was donated to the school in memory of Cameron. So that was very special for their school. Another thing that I'm working on right now is a little girl named Chloe. She meant a lot to me and teachers that I know because she used to go to the school that I used to work at where I was a teacher, and she was in my friend's 2nd grade class. Chloe had brain cancer for years, and this past month when she was in 5th grade, she passed away. And so it kind of rocked our community. And so they had this big community night, and I got a hold of somebody who knows her family, and I asked if I could do a Literacy for a Lifetime grant. But basically what we're going to do, once I get the okay from her parents, is we're going to have a Cuddle Bear drive. I don't know if you already know about Cuddle Bear, but it is a cute little bear and a book that go together is $25. And one of the hospitals that she used to go get treatment at was Arnold Palmer Hospital in Orlando. So I've contacted Arnold Palmer and asked if this would be something that they would partake in, if I could donate Cuddle Bear sets to their cancer patients in honor of Chloe. And they love the idea. So we're just waiting on the parents right now, making sure that they're okay with it. I've created a You Caring event. It's just like GoFundMe, but you don't have to pay the extra funds for the donations when people donate. So we're gonna post that You Caring event to her to the Chloe Awareness Facebook page, basically where people can learn more about what had happened to Chloe. She's got a lot of followers on there, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to help and participate with that. So once all the Cuddle Bears and books are sent in, if Chloe's family wants to help, or I will do it, but we will deliver it to Arnold Palmer, and they will take all those sets and give them to those patients that have cancer. Keep in mind, so that's just a couple of ideas there for you. Keep in mind that if your business or what you're working with is not tax exempt, then they will have to pay tax on the books. So what I did with Cameron's cause, the little boy that passed away earlier in the year, I just kept some of the donations and used it to pay the tax on the books. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. There is no shipping on the books. You don't have to pay the shipping on any Literacy for a Lifetime grant books. If you have any questions, if there's anything else I can help you answer, feel free to comment below, or you can message me, and I can help you out that way. So I hope this answered some questions for you, or maybe even gave you some ideas. This is a wonderful way to increase sales for you. This is a great way to help people in your community. That's one of my favorite things about Usborne, is that you can help people. You will put smiles on people's faces in a million different ways. So I hope this is one of the ways that you decide to partake in helping kids in your community. So thank you. Bye-bye.